stikker af, og månen lugter blød. Så ved du hvem du er. Mørket hænger i en tråd.
It's alright.
Så ved du hvem du er.
Hi, Sarah. Hi. So today I'm going to do a recipe with sprouted chickpeas, and we're going to make sprouted hummus. But the first thing I'm going to talk about is what sprouts are and why they're good for you, and why this is an even better alternative to regular hummus, which is with cooked chickpeas or garbanzo beans. So these are sprouts, chickpea sprouts, right here, and they're really easy to make. You can actually sprout anything that is a viable seed that will turn into another plant. For example, right here we have sunflower seeds. So if you sprouted these, they would actually turn into a sunflower at some point, but you'll eat them before they get to that stage. And then here we have a mixture of alfalfa, radish, clover, and onion. And this makes sort of very small, the typical sprouts that you see to put on sandwiches and on salads. That's what you get from this. So, we're going to make chickpea sprouts. Now, I'm going to do the steps with the chickpeas, but you can actually use any kind of seed you want. That includes legumes, beans, grains like quinoa, even rice and spelt. They're really, really good to sprout. So, I have a couple handfuls of chickpeas here, and what you need is a nice thin glass jar that's quite large. So that's about the amount of chickpeas in this jar that will end up being this big. So one of the great benefits of sprouting is that for a very, very low cost, you can get a lot of food. So, I mean, this amount of chickpeas barely costs anything, but look at what you get in the long run after you sprouted it. The other thing you'll need is a piece of screen, and this is just screen from a typical window, just washed very well. You can get it at any hardware store, but you can also use pantyhose, any kind of cotton that's been washed very, very well in case there's pesticide residue on it. So I just put the rubber band on top like this. Make sure it's covered. And then what you want to do is actually pour the water on top of the chickpeas, more than you need. They're very thirsty. So I fill that up and I actually let it sit overnight. And what that does is it breaks down all the enzyme inhibitors that are actually in the bean itself. And this is actually going to help prevent gas and bloating. And a lot of people have issues with eating beans in the first place. So when you sprout beans, you actually remove all of the potential to get gas and bloating issues, which is wonderful. So let's pretend that these have been soaking overnight for 8 to 12 hours. And then what we do is actually dump the water out. I'm just going to put it back in this jar here. Like so. And the last thing you need to sprout is some kind of bowl or container that the sprout jar can actually sit in so it can drain. You can see the water coming out of there. And you also need to make sure that the screen is open to the air. If there is no air, if you put the jar like this, there'd be no oxygen getting inside, and that actually can cause mold. And if you're sensitive to mold, you can actually use a hydrogen peroxide, just a rinse every day if you like. If you're not sensitive to mold, just make sure that the screen is open to the air and you should be fine. So easy to do. Once you've soaked them overnight, rinse them once and drain them, let them sit like this. And I would just like to cover them with a towel actually to prevent the light from getting in. They like a dark environment. And then you rinse them once or twice a day, and in about 3 or 4 days, you're gonna get sprouts that look just like this. And obviously they vary depending on what type of bean or seed you've chosen to sprout. But the reason they're so great, so many reasons. Number one, the nutritional value of whatever grain or bean or seed you're sprouting totally skyrockets. We're talking 10 times more vitamin C than the original bean or seed. You know, lots more B vitamins, vitamin K, vitamin E, and then there's all the minerals, calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, potassium, and iron and zinc. So these are great for vegetarians also because most sprouts are about 35% available protein. So it's good for vegetarians, but also people who eat meat. It's a very clean source of protein and very usable to the body. They're a superfood, really, let's be honest. So, now that we know how to sprout, I'm going to show you how to actually use these chickpeas in sprouted hummus. So we're going to go to the kitchen. Okay, I think we are ready. We have all of our equipment. This kind of looks complicated. You don't need to use all this stuff at home if you don't have it. Okay, so we're gonna start by making sort of this lemon zest and juice combination. I really like to use the lemon zest of a lemon, first of all because it's kind of wasteful to just use the juice when there's so much flavor in the zest. But it's very important to find an organic lemon that isn't waxed because otherwise you'll be eating the wax. So I like to wash it first anyway, just give it a quick rinse. Lovely. And then I'm just going to use this side of the grater, the small side. You just want to get the yellow part off. As soon as you get into the white part, it starts to get bitter. And I'm going to use both lemons for this recipe because we have a lot of chickpeas to go through. Okay, so there's our lemon zest. Oh, it smells so amazing. And then I'm just going to cut these in half and juice them. Go. So we're getting quite a bit of juice, but the more the better. The lemon flavor really adds something to this recipe. And lemon juice is incredibly high in vitamin C. It's a wonderful antioxidant. It's actually really great to just put in your water first thing in the morning, and that actually flushes out your kidneys and your liver, and it's a really good thing. So we have our lemon juice right there. Juice of 2 lemons. The next thing I'm going to do is just cut up a little bit of garlic. Let's put 2 cloves in. I like garlic a lot. And garlic is an incredible antibacterial agent. It's really great when you're getting a cold, especially raw. If you eat it raw, it's the best. So we're making it raw today, which is super. Very high in sulfur, which is a cancer-fighting compound. I like to use a garlic press because it really juices it up. And I'm gonna put it right into here. So you do need a food processor for this recipe. You can try using a hand blender, it works, but not as well as the actual food processor does. So, garlic's in. I'm just gonna get rid of this. And I'm going to put in some green onions. These are just in season now, and again, they're really fresh and delicious. They add a great flavor, but also sulfur-containing compounds to the mix, which is a good thing. And I'm just going to use the green parts today. Often when people buy these, they just end up using the white part, but there's so much flavor in the green, and it gives the hummus a really, really nice color as well. So, I'm going to just save those for later. Take the heads away and give these a rough chop. They'll get blended up in the hummus as well. Okay, so that's all of those ingredients. There's one other special thing we're gonna add to this, and that is tahini. And tahini is a sesame seed paste. It's been ground from, you can get raw tahini, which is great. I think this one has been roasted because I can smell how nutty it is. But this is a really incredible food product. It's great for vegetarians because there's lots of protein in it. And sesame seeds actually have the most calcium, one of the most bioavailable sources of calcium from any other plant or seed. So it's really, really great for people, especially when they get older. It's also great for preventing PMS, osteoporosis, things like that. So go with tahini whenever you can. It's great. It's a really good substitute for peanut butter too, which can be moldy and not so nice. So the great thing too is when you combine the tahini with the lemon juice, the vitamin C in the lemon juice actually helps you absorb the calcium. So you're getting even more benefits by making that combination. So I'm going to put a couple tablespoons in here. And this adds a really nice nutty flavor to the recipe as well. And again, you know, it's pretty free-form, these recipes. If you don't like tahini, you can maybe use almond paste or cashew butter or something like that. It's up to you, or if you don't have any, that's okay as well. So I'm going to add in, I don't think I'll put in all the chickpeas because we have quite a few here. I think I'll start with about that amount. We'll see how we do. But I am going to put in all of the lemon zest and all of the juice. There we go. And I think I'll throw this in as well. This is also really, really wonderful with herbs like cilantro or basil, depending on what's in season. I just like using the green onions this time of year because they're very, very fresh. And I just need to wipe that away. Okay, so we're ready. It's gonna be a little bit loud. Okay, I'm just going to scrape down the sides here. Looks beautiful. I'm gonna give a quick taste. Incredible. Okay, a couple more things. I just want to put in a little bit of cumin. This is a great spice to put into regular hummus, but it's nice in this as well. I'm gonna throw in a dash of salt. I just like to mix all the other ingredients first, just to get just to see how it tastes first. And then the last ingredient is some cold pressed extra virgin olive oil. And this is a really, really nice oil to use, adds great flavor and healthy fats. All right. Again, just scrape down the sides. And I'm gonna have a little taste. The cumin was a really, really good idea. Okay. The difference between this kind of hummus and regular hummus is the flavor is going to be a lot fresher because these sprouts, they're very crunchy and they have a very earthy taste because they're living. They're literally alive. So the hummus itself is not going to taste as smooth and creamy and rich as the regular kind of hummus because it's actually a living food product, which is very exciting. I mean, when you eat sprouts, you're literally eating everything that was inside this that was contained the potential for a new plant. And the great thing about sprouts is because they're so small, you can eat so many of them, and you're literally eating the potential life force of all these different plants all at once. It's totally incredible. And you will notice a difference when you eat this. You are filled with energy, filled with vitality, and the flavor is really remarkable. And each sprout is totally different. So I'm gonna go get some raw vegetables to eat my hummus, and we'll be right back. Okay. It is really good. So that's how we make sprouted hummus. It's incredibly easy, but don't forget you can sprout any kind of seed, grain, legume, or bean that you can find. And I hope you try it at home. It's very inexpensive, very fast and simple. For 5 seconds a day, you can have an organic kitchen right on your countertop at home, and who wouldn't want that? And it tastes delicious. Thanks for watching.